Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bea. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Today I will be talking about why you should not try to change people, because like for me, I think someone needs to go through a certain experience for them to actually want to change, and simply trying to change someone's behavior, or just just change someone in general, it ends up in you are the one who you look like a bad guy, because someone needs to want to change. They need to believe that by changing, like in a good way, they will benefit and it will change their lives. And they have to experience a certain whatever experience that God wants them to experience in that moment. Just let them experience that, and then after the experience, then they will kind of get into that moment where they want to change, and they really like, they have to make their minds on their own. I mean, it's good to advise, but just don't try to actually like put all the effort and try to change them, because like it's very hard to change people, right? The third thing, so that was experience. They have to go through experience, and then they have to want to change, and then they have and then they have to believe that by changing, it's going to help them, or change their lives in a better way, right? And I'm talking about it can be changing a habit, it can be changing someone, like wanting like changing someone's just life in general, right? So I do have some examples in the Bible, and it talks about, I was reading on the Israels when they were going from Egypt to Israel, the promised land. There were these two generations where there was one generation that it was they were in the desert for about like 40 years, and then another generation, and they were just wandering in the desert for all of that time, and they were afraid to go into the promised land. But then it comes another generation where they just went for it. They want to change, and they went for it. So in I'll just show some just read out some examples here. So in Numbers 13, so this was the first the generation that was in the desert, right? The first one, the ones that that they didn't they were so afraid to actually go into the promised land, the land that they were promised by God that they would take possession of. In Numbers 13:30, it says, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. So they actually, like, they were they kind of believed that they can do it. But in Numbers 13 verse 31, it says, but the men who had gone up with him said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. Okay, so Moses sent these men, and they went to the promised land to have a look at it, like see, just spy on that land, and see the people there and how they're actually going to take over the land. But they came back with bad news, right? They came back with bad news. And it says here, there was a scripture that it kind of like, I was so shocked that, in Numbers 13 verse 25, it says, at the end of the 40 days, they returned from exploring the land. So they were in that land for 40 days. They were just exploring for 40 days. That was the generation. So, when it comes to changing, when it comes to wanting to, kind of make a decision, in the dream that you want in your life. It can be, any dream. It can be, any dream that you really like, and any passion in your life. When you take a long time to make a decision, it's actually it might make you change your mind, because then you kind of like, you dwell in it, and then you'll be like, maybe I should not, I don't know if I should do it, or maybe it's not the right time. Like, if you have a passion, just go for it. Like, don't wait for so long, because when you are waiting for so long to actually make a change in your life, it makes it harder, or it kind of like, then you have these thoughts, and then you start having doubts. Like, these people, they were in that land for 40 days. What are you doing in 40 days? Making, like, exploring the land, so it's like, then, like, that's why, they started having fear, because at the beginning, in Numbers 13 verse 30, it says, they were actually encouraging themselves, like, we can certainly do it. And then they were in that land for 40 days exploring. Then they came back with bad news, saying, oh, actually, you know what, these people actually very, they're giants. We cannot, we can definitely not take over this land. And then in so in Numbers 13 verse 33, it says, we seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes. So in their own eyes, actually, it was not the land, the people in the land who were seeing them. They saw themselves as, as grasshoppers in their own eyes, and we looked for the and we looked the same to them. So you can see, like, they stayed in that land for so long, so it actually made it harder for them to change, for them to take possession of the land. The reason why I'm saying this is because in Joshua, that generation is like the go-getters generation, where they wanted change and they did it. They was like, let's just do this, okay? So in Joshua 2 verse 22, it says they stayed there, like, so when the generation the generation of Joshua now, Joshua sent sent the men there. They sent the people to go and explore the land, the same land. It was the same land, right? And then but those people, they stayed there for 3 days. They stayed there for 3 days. They didn't stay there longer than Moses' generation. So when they came back, they said, in Joshua 2 verse 24, it says, they say to Joshua, the land has surely given the whole land. Joshua 2 verse 24, it says, they say to Joshua, the Lord has surely given the whole land, into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us. So this is the same land. The people in the land that they want to take possession of is the same people, but now it's like the people there, they are melting in fear, while the Moses generation, they were like, oh, we are the grasshoppers, like, we, like, they were fearful on the same, like, the same land that they all, so this comes to, to show you on how, how you are, like, how you see things in, mind perspective. Like, if you want to go for a dream, it all comes in a mind. If you take longer to actually make a decision, it might, you start, doubting yourself. You start, like, making a change in your life. You start, be like, okay, maybe I'll just wait, or this, those stuff. But actually just making a decision and believing in yourself that you actually, do it. Because these people, the generation of Joshua, they believed in God, and they believed in themselves, and they were certain that they were going to take over the promised land. So, if you want, if you are looking to, to have change in your life, or to pursue, a dream, Go for it, go for it. You know, this is 2021. The year has just begun, honestly, like it's February. So, you know, don't dwell in the thoughts, you know, don't dwell in the thoughts. Just be, you know, the go-getter, you know, go, yeah, like make a decision, believe in yourself, believe that God is with you, and do it, you know, do it, like, you know, pursue that dream, you know. And another thing, I think also, you know, when you have a passion in life that you want, you know, a goal in life, you know, asking other people, like you find will be like, oh, you start asking, you know, friends, and sometimes even as much as, you know, there's, you know, people want good in our lives. If God has told you to do something, to pursue a dream, to pursue, you know, something, just do it. Just do it. And as long as you have received a confirmation from God, it's kind of like good enough as a step, as you know, as a starting point. You know, you do it. Yes, you receive criticism from people and ideas and all this stuff, but don't rely on, you know, for you to actually, like, before you start, don't rely on other people to approve, you know, to approve of it, because then there will be other people, are you sure, like, that is gonna be so hard, and, you know, it's going to be, you know, it's going to cost you, or, like, I mean, they mean well, right? They mean well, but, you know, don't let, like, their fears or their concerns or all of that, you know, it's good to ask them, but after you have already started and you're, like, you know, you're actually doing it, right? But when you're actually, like, you haven't even started, you know, you you know, pursuing your dream or your passion, sometimes when, you know, like, the longer it takes you, the harder it gets, right? You know, so it's good to just, you know, just start, you know, start the dream that you want, start the passion that you want to do, and, you know, and believe in yourself, believe God that is for you and not against you. All right. I'll just see if I have any more scriptures that I want to share with you. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, so don't give up. You can do it. If you want to make a change in your life, go for it. You know, a good change in your life, of course, go for it. You know, be your number one supporter. Be your number one supporter. You know, yes, people will support you, and, you know, family will support you, but if you don't support yourself first, if you don't believe in the dream that you are pursuing or in the passion that you're pursuing, then how will other people actually support you, right? So, and don't drag it, you know, don't, like, you know, think, you know, it's something can take even months and months and months. You're just thinking about a dream that you want to start. So just start, okay? Just start. And yeah, I hope you are blessed with, you know, this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and give it a like. And if you have any friends, family who you think this video will bless, you can, you know, please share it. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.